Here's a shocking statistic that might surprise you. According to a recent study by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average person now changes careers 5 to 7 times during their working life. Not jobs, careers, complete professional reinventions. And here's what's even more interesting. A LinkedIn survey found that 72% of professionals who made major career changes reported being happier in their new field, even when it meant taking a pay cut, even when it meant starting over from scratch. So if you've changed careers multiple times, you're not alone. You're part of a growing movement of people who refuse to stay stuck in one path for 40 years. But here's what most people don't understand about you. Your choice isn't about being flaky or directionless. It's backed by real psychology, by curiosity drives, identity exploration, and a deep understanding of what fulfillment means to you. And today, we're diving deep into the 10 powerful psychological reasons why some people change careers often, while others never leave their chosen field. Before we explore these 10 fascinating reasons, if you're curious about the psychology behind human choices and want to understand what drives people's life decisions, hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell for Human Psych 101. Every week, we explore the hidden psychology shaping human behavior, the channel where you actually understand what makes people tick. Now, let's dive in. This isn't about judging people who stay in one career their whole life. That's a valid choice that deserves respect. This is about exploring the fascinating psychology behind why you might need to change careers multiple times. Because the truth is, your decision to switch careers repeatedly reveals something profound about your learning style, how you construct identity, and what you truly value in your work life. See, for generations, career stability has been the gold standard. You pick a field, you climb the ladder, you retire from the same industry you started in. That was the path to success, the safe choice, the respectable trajectory. But something has fundamentally shifted in how we think about work. More people than ever are making major career pivots, not reluctantly, but intentionally, sometimes multiple times in a single decade. And the psychology behind your choice is complex, nuanced, and deeply personal. 1. You're a polymath at heart. For many people who change careers often, the drive comes from genuine intellectual curiosity. Psychologists call this multipotentiality. It's when you have the capacity and desire to excel in multiple, unrelated fields. If this is you, you've probably asked yourself these questions. Why should I limit myself to one expertise? What if I'm interested in completely different things? Does having multiple careers make me less serious or more curious? And for you, the answer is clear. This isn't lack of focus, it's expansive thinking. You know that your brain craves variety, that learning new systems excites you in ways that mastering one field doesn't, that becoming an expert in one area doesn't mean you stop being curious about others. And that kind of intellectual range is rare, because most people find their niche and stay there. But you've rejected the idea that you can only be one thing. You've embraced being many things, and that takes courage. 2. You outgrow roles faster than most. Here's something people misunderstand about you as a frequent career changer. It's not that you can't commit, it's that you master things quickly and then need new challenges. Psychologists have found that some people have accelerated competency curves. If this is you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You learn fast, you plateau fast, and once you've mastered something, staying feels like stagnation. For you, that 2-year mark hits differently than it does for others. When your colleagues are just getting comfortable, you're already bored. You've figured out the patterns, you've solved the interesting problems, and now the work feels repetitive. That's not ADD or restlessness. That's a high challenge appetite. You need complexity. You need to be a beginner again. You need that steep learning curve that makes your brain light up. And when a career stops providing that, you move. 3. You're building a unique skill portfolio. Then there's the strategic side. Some people change careers because they're intentionally creating a rare combination of skills. Maybe you've been a journalist, then moved into marketing, then into data science. Now you're the rare person who can tell stories with data and understand media strategy. That's not scattered, that's brilliant. Psychologists call this skill stacking. It's deliberately accumulating diverse competencies that together make you uniquely valuable. You've realized something most people miss. Being the best at one thing is incredibly hard, but being in the top 20% of 3 different things, that creates a combination almost nobody else has. Your journalism background plus your marketing experience plus your data skills, that's a unicorn profile. And you built it intentionally by changing careers, not despite the changes, because of them. 4. You're seeking meaning over money. Here's something powerful about career changers. Many of you aren't chasing higher salaries. You're chasing deeper purpose. Maybe you spent 10 years making good money in finance, but you felt empty inside. So you retrained as a therapist, taking a significant pay cut, because the meaning mattered more than the income. Psychologists studying career motivation have found that frequent changers often score high on meaning-seeking behavior. You've looked at your work and asked yourself, does this matter? Not just does this pay well? And when the answer was no, you left. Even when others thought you were crazy. Even when the new path paid less. Because you've realized something profound. You spend most of your waking life working, and if that time doesn't feel meaningful, what's the point? That's not irresponsible. That's wise. 5. You need variety more than you need certainty. Then there's the personality factor. Some people change careers because their brain is literally wired for novelty. Psychologists call this high openness to experience. It's a personality trait where new experiences feel more rewarding than familiar ones. If this is you, the unknown is exciting, not scary. Starting over in a new field feels like an adventure. Learning a completely new industry energizes you. While others crave the comfort of expertise, you crave the thrill of being new again. That's not immaturity. That's how your reward system works. Novelty literally releases dopamine in your brain. Staying in the same career for decades would feel like sensory deprivation to you. You need change the way some people need stability, and there's nothing wrong with that. 6. You're escaping toxic work cultures. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Sometimes your career changes aren't about seeking something, they're about escaping something. Maybe you've left careers because the culture was toxic, the hours unsustainable, the values completely misaligned with yours, and you realized that no amount of money or prestige was worth sacrificing your mental health. Psychologists call this values-based exit behavior. It's leaving when your core values clash with your work environment. You've worked in places that demanded you compromise who you are, and instead of slowly dying inside, you left. That's not quitting, that's self-preservation. And every time you've changed careers to protect your well-being, that was an act of self-respect. 7. You're adaptable in a changing economy. Then there's the practical reality. Some people change careers because they see industries shifting and adapt accordingly. Maybe you worked in print journalism until you saw it dying, so you pivoted to digital marketing. Then you saw automation coming, so you moved into strategy where human judgment still matters. Psychologists studying career resilience call this adaptive career navigation. You're not blindly loyal to a sinking ship. You're reading the economic landscape and adjusting your position. That's not disloyalty, that's intelligence. You've realized that company loyalty doesn't protect you anymore, that entire industries can collapse in a decade, that the only real security is your ability to learn and adopt. So you do, again and again. And that makes you more employable, not less. 8. You're rejecting the sunk cost fallacy. Here's something psychologically sophisticated about you. As a career changer, you've learned to ignore sunk costs. Maybe you spent 4 years getting a degree in engineering, then 3 years working as an engineer, but you realized you hate it. Most people would think, I've invested 7 years, I can't quit now. But you thought, I've got 40 more years of working, I'm not spending them miserable. Psychologists call this sunk cost resistance. It's the ability to walk away from past investments when they're not serving your future. That's incredibly hard because our brains hate wasting effort. but you've realized that continuing down the wrong path wastes more than leaving does. The degree is sunk, the years are gone, but your future isn't, and you're brave enough to change direction. 9. You have a portfolio career mindset. Then there's the modern work philosophy. Some people change careers because they don't believe in having just one. You're building a portfolio career. Maybe you're a part-time consultant, a weekend photographer, and you're studying to be a yoga instructor. Not because you can't pick one, but because you want multiple income streams and creative outlets. Psychologists studying modern work patterns call this portfolio identity. It's seeing yourself as a collection of skills and interests, not a single job title. You've rejected the question, what do you do? Because you do several things, and that diversity protects you. If one income stream dries up, you have others. If one interest fades, you have more. You're not scattered, you're diversified. 10. You're running from burnout before it catches you. Here's the final reason, and it's something that frequent career changers understand deeply. Burnout is real, and you've learned to recognize the early signs. That Sunday night dread, that loss of passion, that feeling of just going through the motions. And instead of pushing through until you break, you leave. Psychologists call this proactive burnout prevention. It's changing careers before the damage becomes permanent. You've watched people stay too long. You've seen them become shells of themselves, bitter, exhausted, resentful, and you've decided that's not going to be you. So when you feel the passion dying, you don't force it, you move. That's not weakness, that's self-awareness. So where does this leave you? Your choice to change careers multiple times is completely legitimate. It's not instability, indecision, or failure to commit. It's a conscious approach to building a life that keeps challenging and fulfilling you. And just like the choice to stay in one career deserves respect, so does your choice to explore many, because both require self-knowledge, courage, and intentionality. You've thought deeply about what you need. You've been willing to start over. You've built skills across multiple domains. You've made choices that feel right for you. That's not immature. That's self-directed. And maybe in a world that's still catching up to the new economy, your approach is ahead of its time because you've realized something powerful. Your career doesn't define you. Your learning does. Your growth does. Your willingness to evolve does. And if that means changing careers 5 times, that's not a failure to launch. That's a commitment to becoming. You just need curiosity, courage, and the confidence to keep choosing yourself. So here's my question for you. When was the last time you chose growth over comfort? When did you walk away from something safe because it no longer served who you're becoming? That's what you do with your career changes. You choose evolution over stagnation. And if this made you think differently about the psychology behind career pivots and life reinvention, make sure you're subscribed to Human Psych 101. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our explorations of human behavior, because every week we dive into the hidden psychology shaping how people live and work, the channel where you actually understand yourself and others. See you in the next one.